So there I was at Olive Garden on a date with my beautiful girlfriend when I was in the mood for a cocktail. Something Italian, you know? The drink menu had a bunch of margaritas, sangrias, the usual casual chain restaurant fare. But I thought, hey, it's an Italian restaurant and the Negroni is one of the all-time most famous cocktails. Or so I thought. So I tried to order it. Unfortunately, the waiter was confused with the owner, and then the waiter asked the bartender, and the bartender had no idea what the drink was. Never even heard of a Negroni, apparently. So I gave up on that and just ordered a Modelo. And honestly, no shade at Olive Garden. Love the place, love the breadsticks, the pasta, all that. But I should have known better, and after the whole Mai Tai at BJ's experience, I really gotta stop ordering off menu at these chain restaurants. I don't know why I keep doing it. It's kind of weird. Anyways, despite all of that, the Negroni is one of the most popular cocktails in the world. I looked it up. It's actually number 3, right behind the old fashioned and the margarita, at least according to AI. So let's break down this classic cocktail, why it's one of my favorites, despite a pretty controversial ingredient. Let's get started. So the Negroni is considered a classic cocktail, and I was surprised myself to actually see it in the top 5 most popular cocktails in the world. Even reaching number 3 on that list, I could see it being a top 5 cocktail, but maybe number 5 and on the fringes of being 6. Because I feel like the Negroni is kind of niche as a drink. Like, I think if you went to a bar, I don't think you'd see near enough people ordering a Negroni over something like an old fashioned or a martini or a Moscow Mule. And definitely nowhere near as close as how many people would order a margarita ahead of a Negroni. But even still, it is considered one of the classics, and it's a cocktail that every bartender should at least be familiar with, and honestly, it's really easy to make. It's only 3 ingredients, and all of those ingredients are pretty easy to find. You can find them basically anywhere that has a liquor store at least. And it's an equal parts cocktail, which means all 3 ingredients have the same exact measure, so there's no confusion on how much this ingredient or how much that ingredient. It's super easy to remember. Also, it's a stirred cocktail, so you don't even need something like a shaker. And you don't even really need a mixing glass. Sometimes I make my Negronis just right in the glass if I'm feeling lazy. Today we are going to use a mixing glass just to kind of make sure we have the proper dilution in this drink. That's going to be important because we're using all equal parts ingredients that contain alcohol, so you're going to want that water dilution in it. And we're going to get right into the ingredients today, no dilly-dallying. First up is gin. Usually a London dry gin works perfectly fine. If you want to go crazy, you can use something like a Navy strength gin. I have this Kenobi Navy strength that I like to use sometimes for my Negronis, but we're not going to use that today. We're just going to use the Beefeater, just keep it simple. This is your base spirit. It's going to give you that backbone of the cocktail and kind of provide a lot of the kind of strength of the drink. And it being gin, it's going to give you kind of those botanical flavors that are going to pair well with the other 2 ingredients. Speaking of, next is sweet vermouth, which is a fortified wine. A lot of people may know it as one of the main ingredients in a Manhattan. This is going to give the drink a little sweetness, a little fruitiness, and it's got those botanical ingredients as well to kind of pair with the gin. And then lastly is Campari, which is a liqueur, but more specifically, it's in kind of a subsection within liqueurs called aperitivos, which are usually very bitter, kind of herbal, a little bit of a citrusy note as well, and they're kind of meant in Italian culture to be drank before your meal to kind of warm up your appetite. Think about if appetizers were a drink, that would be an aperitivo. The most famous of them being bottles like Campari or Aperol. That's why in Italy the most popular cocktails are the Negroni and the Aperol Spritz, because they heavily include those 2 ingredients. And Campari specifically can be kind of the source on why this drink might be a little divisive. I've seen it very rare that anyone likes a Negroni or really anything with Campari in it on their first try. My girlfriend says that it tastes like cough syrup. My parents said the same thing when they tried it for the first time. It's definitely very herbal and it is extremely bitter. Even for me, I wasn't really fond of this drink at first. I kind of pretended to like it because I knew it was kind of a classic cocktail and I thought it looked really cool. But over time, it does kind of become an acquired taste, something that you actually kind of crave once you have a few of them. The sophistication, the classiness of the cocktail kind of sucks you in, kind of brings you in to keep on trying it. And then once you get a taste for it, it kind of hooks you in and becomes one of your go-to cocktails. Add that to being extremely easy to make. You'll see soon that this is a cocktail that you can whip up in less than 2 minutes if you really want to. And not only is it sophisticated enough to be served at something like a classy high-end bar, but also easy enough to make at home with no problem. But yes, most people don't like Negronis or Campari at first because of its bitterness. Its flavor isn't anything that we can really compare to most American drinks. really besides medicine, and that's why a lot of people say it tastes like cough syrup. But I think the herbal complexity, I think those orange and citrusy notes, and of course that bright red color really makes it stand out. And in my mind is the main ingredient in this cocktail, even though it's equal parts gin, sweet vermouth, and Campari. And I think a cocktail like the Negroni really stands out overall when you look at the entire kind of world of cocktails because of its unique taste, because of the balance, and because of the template that you can kind of jump off and kind of swap out ingredients and make your own kind of versions of this drink. You'll find that most cocktails are spirit forward, like kind of the old fashioned or like the martini, or citrus forward, like the margarita, like the daiquiri, like the mojito, or maybe even sweet forward, like the bee's knees or the white Russian. But the Negroni really leads the way in kind of being in that bitter category of cocktails that I think is important to kind of round out whatever you're in the mood for. So let's get to building the classic Negroni. In our mixing glass, we're going to do equal parts, 1 ounce each of our London Dry Gin, 1 ounce of sweet vermouth, and 1 ounce of our bitter aperitivo Campari. Add a bunch of ice to the mixing glass and stir away about 50 stirs, or until the ice is almost all the way down in the drink and the outside of the glass is very cold. The water dilution is really important in this cocktail because we are mixing with alcohol only. Get a lowball glass and put a big rock of ice in it, and then strain that off into your glass. I'm using my cobbler shaker as my strainer right now because I don't have a strainer for my mixing glass. Go ahead and garnish with a spritz of lemon peel or orange peel, whichever you prefer. I like lemon for more citrusy aroma, and then drop it in, and there we go, the classic Negroni. All right, here we go. Got it right here. Gonna go in for the sniff and then for a sip. Obviously, all that lemon peel right off the top there. I love how this drink is presented, by the way. The bright red color, very citrusy on the nose, and then of course, if you can use clear ice, if you can use a big block, that really helps as well. Kind of add to more of the presentation of the drink, which I think is really important. If it looks good, your mind is going to automatically think that it's probably going to taste good too. And with something like a Negroni, a first impression can really help because I know it's going to be bitter on the first sip, but let's go in anyways. Wow, really balanced. The stirring and diluting with water really helped for it not to be too strong on the first few sips. Since it's straight up 3 ounces of straight alcohol, you really need that dilution to kind of make sure it's not burning on the way down. But it really helps. It's really good. Very herbal, obviously. When you have all the components here, sweet vermouth, Campari, and London Dry Gin, all of them have some kind of either botanical or herbal component to them. They work together incredibly well to kind of almost make kind of a perfect drink. Like I said, it's not balanced in a way that it's like, oh, sweet and sour or sweet and bitter together. It is a bitter cocktail, but there is a little bit of sweetness there that it kind of rounds off some of that bitterness. But I don't know, once you get used to the taste of Campari, that bitter flavor is something you actually kind of crave. It's something you want. And in theory, it's supposed to help you want to eat more too, which I don't think I really need that right now. So yes, it's bitter, it's herbal, it's dry, it's not for everyone. I wouldn't say that this is a beginner-friendly cocktail. If you're someone new to drinking or new to bartending or whatever, this isn't something I'd put at top of the list. Oh, you gotta try this, right now. But if you want to try something different, kind of get into more of those kind of Italian style aperitivo cocktails, I think this is kind of the go-to. This and the Aperol Spritz are both very nice kind of gateway cocktails to get into those kind of Amaros and those aperitivos and all those kind of different style liqueurs that maybe not a lot of people think of. So I completely understand why people hate this drink. Like I said, I didn't like it that much at first, but over time, I think it's really become one of my favorite, and I think really goes on kind of my Mount Rushmore of cocktails. Like I've said in the past, I think I've had like Moscow Mule, Highball, Mai Tai, Mojito, and then I think when I think of a gin cocktail, I think of Negroni, first thing up there. If not, maybe Martini, but in my opinion, one of the best cocktails. But I touched on this earlier, and something else that I really love about this cocktail is that it's a template to make your own riffs. It being equal parts means that you can basically swap out any ingredient you want that maybe is in the same family and kind of create your own variation. For example, another classic cocktail, the Boulevardier, is basically the same cocktail as this, except it swaps out gin for whiskey, and it's kind of its own thing, and it's amazing. There's also the white Negroni that switches out Campari for Suze, which is another kind of Italian Amaro or aperitivo liqueur, and then switches out sweet vermouth as well for Lillet Blanc, which is also another fortified wine. So there's a lot of fun to be had when it comes to experimenting with new creations, using something like the Negroni equal parts template. You don't even have to make it equal parts. I think the Boulevardier actually adjusts the ratios a little slightly since whiskey is such a strong flavor. But either way, just the element of being able to swap in ingredients in and out and kind of create your own things is one of my favorite things about home bartending in general. I'll expand on that in a later video on how to kind of create your own cocktails using something like a template, and the Negroni is one of my go-to templates whenever I'm bored and just want to create something new. But regardless, before you start experimenting with your own cocktails, I think it's good to master the basics, to kind of familiarize yourself with the classics and why they work so well, and the Negroni is definitely one of them. So if you've never had one, definitely try it. It's a really easy drink to make, and just know that you might not like it on your first try, but in my opinion, I think it's really worth kind of getting a taste for one. Anyways, let me know what your thoughts are on this drink, if you love them, you hate them, or if you have your own variation that you personally like. Leave them down in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more Jags Japan. See you later.